Hi, and welcome to another episode of Why You Should Watch. And this week, as you've probably seen from the title and both the artwork, is an indicator release of The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, which is a musical from 1953, which was a Stanley Kramer production, of a Dr Seuss book. So long before the days of Jim Carrey and Mike Myers doing film adaptations of Dr Seuss material, this was his first foray, and one that nearly put an end to any other adaptations of his films ever again. This was the only one that he was really super involved with in his lifetime, writing the screenplay. We had very strong. And it is a musical that was much maligned at the time. Incredibly maligned. It was thought to be a total flop and failure, but one that has aged particularly well, and one that many people will miss out on otherwise. It tells the story of a young boy who has been made to do piano by his mother and is a rather overbearing piano teacher. And he hates it so much that in a dreamlike sequence or otherwise, it manifests itself in the boy waking up in what is basically a stronghold with a massive piano in it, where his authoritative piano teacher is determined to have this piano played for 24 hours a day. So he is going to basically enlist 500 kids to play on shift this piano all day and all night, and therefore his world domination, or his domination over the world, will be complete. It's very much a play on the way he sees that man, and he's also coerced into it by his mother. His mother in real life is very supportive of him doing piano. She wants to see him do it, and in this dreamlike state, she is coerced into doing it by being hypnotized by her piano teacher and doing it, and therefore he sets out to try and get out of it with the help of the plumber that's in the house. The plumber is also in this dreamlike world, and he is the person who Bart will use to get out or to stop this event from happening. So a rather simple premise, but one that comes off fantastically well. This film has more ideas in it than many other ones will have in 10 years worth of film. It is just bursting at the seams, as you would expect maybe with a Dr Seuss production. There's lots of over-the-top phrasing and costumes and sets and all of those things that go together to make a Seuss production. Some of the real highlights of it, I think, are the portrayal of the piano teacher, and his performance is just out of this world. He's very reminiscent of the child catcher in his performance from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and in many ways that ties in with the theme of the movie, in that he's basically going to kidnap these, or coerce 500 of these kids to come work for him. He needs to get them all together to do his bidding. But aside from that, there's also like a little bit of like a Monty Python John Cleese or something in how he acts. Now obviously this is before that time, but there's definitely a combination of those two things together, and just a wonderful, wonderful performance, but one that at the time did not work, because a bit like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I think his character scared an awful lot of kids when they looked at the film and tried to screen test it, etc. He was too frightening a character, and I think in modern days the kids would not be worried about that. But as those kids grew up and then watched the film again with fresh eyes, they seen a real treasure underneath. They seen one that had these incredible musical numbers that just dance on the screen, literally, figuratively and imaginatively, and it has this wonderful soundtrack. And to be fair, although the film was not received well at the time, the soundtrack was, and there's an extended version of it, so much so that when they first screen tested the film, they cut 10 or 9 or 10 songs out of it to bring down the length and maybe get the story to be received a little bit better. But a real treasure of a film. The performances from the other actors, the young kids, excellent in it. The plumber and the mum are actually a real life husband and wife partnership, so they have decent chemistry. But some of the choreography, and there's a wonderful scene down in the dungeon, specifically a number where the dungeon of this piano fortress stronghold is for anybody that didn't play piano. So the overlord, or the piano teacher, has decided that anybody that doesn't play piano needs to be hidden away, so the only instrument left in the world is piano. So all the trombone players and all the flute players, etc., are all put in this dungeon, and they perform a piece while he's down there, and it is utterly fabulous. I mean, it is mind-blowingly great choreography, but again, bursting full of ideas, and one that will keep you really transfixed to the screen. What else to say about the release of 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T? It's, as you would expect, an incredible package put together by Indicator. It is jam-packed full. There is an audio commentary on here that goes along with it. There are 2 features on the music. There's a Trailers from Hell commentary with Joe Dante. If anybody's a big fan of Joe Dante, it's great as well. Not long enough in my eyes, but again, well worth watching. And there's a little bit about how it was received and how they cut it and how they did it. A little short, like a making of documentary or behind the scenes documentary on that. And of course, as usual, you get the wonderful booklet that's there. One thing I will say about Indicator releases that I don't think gets an awful lot of love. I think the disc art is spectacular. I always do. I absolutely love it, and again, it really goes well with some of the imagery that is in both Dr. Seuss and also in this film itself. He's always a very strikingly visual film for a storyteller, so to speak. So that's the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T that you can certainly get from Indicator at the moment, and it is region ABC, so you can see it, buy it and watch it anywhere in the world. It's a region free release, so a Technicolor musical from Indicator, of which I can't think of another example within the Indicator collection, so that makes it unusual and why you might miss it yourself when you go to watch it. If you've seen 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, let me know that I'm not crazy and thinking that it's wonderful and that it's definitely worth watching. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you all soon. I'll speak to you then. Bye.